Welcome to the Big Fellas Podcast, where we chop it up about all things past, present, and future about the game of basketball. Where facts, stats, and context reign supreme.
That is blasphemous!
Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. Get ready to learn from players, coaches, and fans from all levels of the game and see the court in a brand new way. And now, fresh off the sidelines, here's your host, John Hartofilis.
What it do, fellas, and welcome to the Big Fellas Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, JH, coming to you from New York City, the mecca of basketball. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Nikos Okekuoyen, 2020 NBA draft prospect and a dear friend of mine that I'm very happy to have met in New York right before the pandemic. We spoke about Niko coming to America from Greece as a teenager to play with the best high schoolers in the world, how Dirk Nowitzki inspired him to become the player he is today, and why it's always family over everything. We've got a good one in store for you today, fellas. Episode number 41, Nikos Okekuoyen, 2020 NBA draft prospect. Γεια σου ρε φίλε, πώς πας?
Γεια σου ρε John, τι κάνεις αδερφέ, όλα καλά?
Όλα καλά ρε. Niko, I'm doing great, man. So happy to have you on. This episode's been a while in the making. It's great to finally get to talk to one of my boys. The biggest fella I know for sure.
Yes sir, for sure.
Let's just get right into it. Can you kind of tell us what it was like for you growing up in Greece and playing basketball there? Were you always tall? Were you always good? What did that look like for you?
Playing basketball in Greece was like a unique experience for me because like I started playing because of my friends. When I went to Philadelphia, at the time Philadelphia had a lot of African kids. Basically, when you go there, like you felt like home, like you felt like you're in the US, you felt like you're like in Africa, like you see a lot of African hoopers. So the only people I knew at the time was like Costas and his little brother Alex. Now all the world knows them. Costas now is an NBA champion, and Alex is playing overseas in Spain. So we like hang out a lot when I went there and talk a lot. Like it was like instantly like we bonded and we were talking about basketball. So they kind of helped me like transition, because at the time I was just thinking that basketball was like to play with your friends and all that. So they already had a different mindset from me. Like they were thinking, oh, basketball can help me like change my whole life. At 15, 16 courses already was working his head off to go to the league at 15, man. And Alex was like, yeah, I'm going to play too. I'll go play too. Just me being around them, like, and training with them, training with the brothers and all that environment make me realize that I can do it too, and I can make that big step to the pros. And I don't know if I'm going to make it to the league or not, but just the mentality they had, like I just carried from that, took a couple things from them, and like decided like just to work my butt off to reach as high as possible.
Oh, 100%. It's great to have people pushing you like that and have friends that have those same goals and make you realize this is serious. I have to put my all into this. So that's awesome. What's it kind of like? Because the Tokumbo family is so big on family first, right? We are all bros. That's their catchphrase. That's what they go by. And whether it's Costa win a championship and both being able to celebrate that success with your brothers, but also knowing that you have that support system when you really need it, that you have brothers like that.
I'm going to say basically I think it's more like a culture thing. I would say both Greek culture, both Nigerian culture, like family is such an important thing for both countries, and especially like the Nigerian culture, family is like number one. When you see like the whole we are all bros and all that, it's like basically like just telling you like without your family you can do nothing. You're successful because you have them. You have them supporting you. You got them having your back no matter what. Basically, that's the message that they show and they trying to like show the people. Like without family, you can't be successful.
Oh no, it's great because it's not just a hashtag on Instagram. It's a message that means so much more than that.
Yeah, for sure.
You were talking a little bit about how basketball wasn't that big when you first started playing the game, but it's blown up since then. Was there a moment in that kind of made basketball popular in Greece that really made you fall in love with the game?
In 2006, Team USA came down to Team Greece. Like that's one of the biggest moments I can remember. Like when I saw like LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, all these big, young, upcoming superstars, like getting defeated from Team Greece. And I was like, damn, man. Like I remember it like yesterday. Dwight Howard couldn't play. Big Sophocles. Shout out to Sophocles, man. Such a dominant big guy, man. Baby Shaq, the original Baby Shaq. Up to this day, man. Like I remember the first time I went and practiced with my coach, Charcharis. He was in that squad. He played in the he was in that squad. I had goosebumps. I was like, yo, man, I used to see you in the TV, man, and now you're training me, bro. That's crazy. Like I was just like a little kid, like meeting like a big superstar.
Like when you started playing basketball, you obviously got really good really quickly. In Greece, it's interesting. You played against grown men as when you were much younger, and then you came to the States and played against people your own age. And you were telling me about what that was like and how it was harder in Greece because you were playing against older people.
Man, like I think that was the best thing that could happen to me. Like, and I thank all my coaches for that because like I started playing with men like when I was 15 years old. When I started playing with men, and at first I never liked it because I was like shitty. Like I couldn't do nothing. Like everything I did was terrible. Everything I did was bad. So when I go back and play with my age mate, like I could see the difference. I could see like me improving. I could see me getting better. I had like Thanasis take me under his wing, giving me some advice and telling me like work hard and take the chances that coach is gonna give you now that you're gonna be in the men's team, and just keep working. Then after Giannis came and told me like being in the men's team is like a big deal and like just be humble and like stick with it. Like just be a workaholic. Like go every day and go hard, go 100%. So that's what I did.
So then after this experience of playing with the men's team and really developing yourself and having that pressure to really make you grow, what was it like then going to the United States, which obviously is a huge transition in and of itself, but then also playing at Spire with some of the best talents in high school basketball?
I set up a goal. I said before I finish high school, I want to go to the States, play high school ball, then go D1. The summer of 2015, after the season was ending, I gained a couple scholarships from a couple schools, then decided to go to Spire. When I went to Spire, like it was such a unique experience, like training in like Olympic facilities, having coaches all day for different type of things. Like we had a strength coach, we had a condition coach, we had a nutritionist, we had so many things that at my team at the time we didn't have. So just me being there and training and meeting so much people from different part of the world. I meet people from Spain, from Colombia, from Mexico, from all over the place, Sweden, Romania. Like it's such a unique experience, like being away from your house and your family and making a new family through basketball. Like that's such a wonderful experience. And I think every hooper, every baller, every basketball player has to have such an experience. Like me going to Spire, like the transition playing men basketball and going and playing high school, like for me was way easier. So I wouldn't say it was so hard to like play, but like just being in the States, like it was so wow for me. So I didn't pay so much like attention in like the game. Like I was playing, but I was like, yeah, man, I'm making my dream come true. Like I'm trying to do stuff that other kids don't do. Like some people say they're gonna do something, but they don't do it. So me just being there at the time, like was so big, so like unique, so gigantic.
what you're saying in terms of that experience obviously made you who you are today. And when you talk about living your dream, you told me that when I was with you January, February, March, you mentioned that so many times. It's like, I'm living the dream right now. No matter how it goes, no matter how the draft goes, no matter how these things go, I'm living the
Yeah.
dream by chasing it. You're kind of, by chasing the dream, you're living it in the same way.
In the end of the day, it's like, what do you do for your dreams? It's not if you
Yep.
get it or if you didn't get it. A lot of people give excuses, man. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that said I gave it all. I tried my best, and either I succeed or either I didn't. Like, that's why I told you, like, I'm just gonna declare for the draft, and whatever happens, happens. Like,
100%. I mean, it's a great way to put it in terms of a lot of people get caught up in the product, but they're not worrying about the process. You put the process before the product, which is what's so important. The product a lot of times is out of your control, but you can control what the process looks like. So now, you're back in Greece. What are things like with whether it's your current team, your plans for the future now that you're there? What's it looking like over there?
it's looking good. I go say it's looking good. I'm just trying to make a name for myself and like make the step to the first division, and maybe in the future get a call up in the national team. I'm just working myself up, like trying to build up a good name, keep pushing myself to get better every day. If I set my mind in something, I'm trying to finish it. Like, I don't want to start something and leave it half done. You know what I mean? So I say I want to play in the league, man. So one day I'm gonna be in the league. So if you don't see me in the league, that means that I quit. But as long as I breathe and my heart is beating hard, that's my goal. I'm gonna be in the league and I'm gonna get there one day. So I just keep working and just try to keep getting better every day.
Can't wait to go to a game and see you there. It's definitely be a lot of fun. So, Niko, I mean, you had so many cool experiences at Spire. You were telling me about whether it's playing with Big Rob, playing against such great competition throughout the country, right? You were traveling as a high schooler, playing all over the country against all these future NBA superstars, prospects, you name it. You played against some of the top talent in the world. Were there any experiences when you were playing against these high level guys where you're like, wow, like this is the level I'm playing at, and this is what I have to do to up my game and get to that level?
So I would say it was the time that we played Putnam Science Academy, and Hamadou Diallo almost tried to dunk on me from like I don't know where, bro. This like I'm like, okay, we're just playing these guys, and these guys are they're a good team, and like I have this guy. Okay, this guy was like had like cameras, had like max prep, had like ball is live coming to his games. So I'm like, I gotta play good. So maybe again I can steal his spotlight. So Hamadou Diallo comes, bring up the ball, and like take a screen from his teammate. Then it's like one on one with me on a switch. So he trying to dunk on me, like I think from the free throw line or something like that. And I'm like, yo, thank God he missed, because you will see my face, bro. You will see my face up to this day on every post in Instagram or Twitter, everywhere. It was a good play, and is then when I realized that I gotta keep working harder and like focus on like all the aspects of the game, like both defensively and offensively. Like, don't just focus on being good in the offensive part and like sluggish on the defense.
Yep, you want to make sure in good position so that so no one ever dunks on you like that. Like no one ever has the chance to. You want to make sure you're
Yeah.
in the right position on defense so no one has the chance to dunk on you like that, right?
He missed though, so in the end of the
No,
day,
no,
I'm.
yeah.
I
I didn't think you survived. You survived to tell a story about it.
survived. I survived, man.
Off that point of obviously your career and up to this point, you've done so many cool things. Who's your favorite player of all time? Who do you kind of look up to?
My favorite player is LeBron James, man.
Yep.
Like, since I was a little kid, man, LeBron James was the guy, man. And Cleveland Cavaliers my favorite team.
So I mean, you showed me the picture when you met him, and obviously you told me about how great of a day that was for you. What was that experience like meeting him and getting to meet your idol for the first time?
being in the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. After the game, Giannis left me a pass. Then we went backstage. You can say backstage. You can say the waiting area.
Well, he's a superstar. He's like a rock star for you, so it's kind of like backstage. It's kind of like seeing
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
for you.
So I was next to LeBron James' kids and wife. So after the game, he came and like talked to his wife, greeted his sons and stuff. So I was next. I was just like next to them. So he saw me and said, "What's up, big fella?" He gave me that. Up to that day, like when I went back to my room, I was like, I'm not gonna wash my hands for like 10 years.
Oh, for sure. And then are there any other players maybe that matched you more in play style that you kind of always try to emulate on the court?
Yeah, for sure. That's Dirk Nowitzki. You can see him behind me, man. I don't know if you can see him. Like you can see the fade away over there.
So with Dirk, like what is it that you like so much about him, and what did you try to take from his game?
Man, Dirk Nowitzki make me a happy guy, and but basically, Dirk Nowitzki make me love basketball because Dirk Nowitzki is a big that does whatever he want to do. So what I mean by that, you can't tell Dirk Nowitzki just screen and roll. You can never tell him that. My favorite part of Dirk Nowitzki game is like he's so versatile. Like he can shoot far from the basket, close to the basket. He can play the classic big position. He can play the stretch position. Like he's so versatile. He can do so many stuff. And me like being uh, in Greece and having like being such a big dude, my coaches always had me doing the stuff that nobody likes to do. Like some people may like to do it, I don't like to do it. I never like to screen growing up. I never like to like take the ball only when I'm down from the rebounds. Like I hated that thing. Like all my team is shooting and I'll be the guy just running for the rebounds. I hated that. So watching Dirk Nowitzki being such a unique guy in the NBA, like not even in Europe, like in the NBA, like having guys chasing his own rebounds, that gave me so many chills growing up as a kid. And his play style, like the fadeaway, the signature fadeaway, that's a great shot. I try to do it. People say I'm crazy for doing it, but I don't care. I just gotta keep working on it. His whole game is such an inspiration. Is such an inspirational player for me.
Oh, 100%. And then what I thought was interesting too was a lot of people don't know this about Dirk is that he won Teammate of the Year in 2017. It's an NBA award that most people don't pay attention to. Now, what I
Yes,
think is
sir.
the cool parallels with that and you is I remember when you went my freshman, you really brought up their energy so much, and it stuck out to me because when I thought they'd meet you, I really thought about the basketball side of things, where you were so much bigger than them, and you'd show them all these skills. But what you really showed them was how to have fun and be a good teammate, and that those skills really rubbed off on them. So, how important is that for you to have that effect on people?
Bro, like I just think basketball is at the end of the day, it's just a game. It's just a game, and everybody between the four lines have to be like having fun. So basically, that day I saw a bunch of kids that play basketball the wrong way. And what I mean by that, they play just to play and they don't play to have fun. Every time you step on the court, I think you must play seriously, but you must still have fun. So I was just trying to make them understand that in the end of the day, if you're gonna play, if you're gonna practice, if you're gonna do anything you do, you gotta do it with joy and with like happiness in your heart, in your heart.
I'm not sure when the last time I told you this was, but they still call each other by the nicknames you gave them. I remember Kid Tom is a really good shooter. You call him Kyle Korver. He still goes by that. It's crazy because that game happened back in February. That's months ago. But the
Yeah, yeah,
impact that
yeah.
you had on them is still going on to this day, and it's going to go on further. And they're always going to remember you as being, okay, wow, I had so much fun playing with Niko all those months ago, all those years ago. And it's
For
so
sure,
awesome
for
to see the
sure.
impact.
I always do that, man. I always do that. Like when I step in the court and I see somebody, I just try to make him feel better for himself. Like because he's gonna play better. If he feels good, he's gonna play even better. And if he's playing good, he's gonna pass me the ball. And what do I need? I need some dimes so I can just. It's just what it is.
Oh, definitely. And then going back to Dirk as in terms of his career, was there a game that made him your favorite player, or was it a gradual thing?
I think it was a gradual thing because like my first NBA jersey was Dirk Nowitzki jersey. So at the time I was so young, I didn't know a lot of things about the NBA. I just knew LeBron James, MJ, and some a couple players more. So I didn't even know who Dirk Nowitzki was, but I always wear his jersey. So I don't know. I was like maybe 10, and I just like Google him. So and I saw a couple plays about him, and I was like, he nice. Then after that, like I just keep checking on him and seeing his game and his story, how he came from like the second division in Germany and then went to the States and played it, became a franchise player, like the first player to do it. Then after Giannis did the same thing, like such a unique story, such a unique player. And I was like, yeah, he's my favorite player.
It's so awesome that you were a fan of him just for such a long time and seeing his career progress. What was it like for you seeing his entire career culminate with winning a championship in 2011?
Man, bro, like that championship run was hard for me because like he was playing against LeBron James.
That must have been tough for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was tough, but I wanted, to be honest, I wanted LeBron James to win. But just Dirk Nowitzki playing the way he played, like it was such an amazing series, such an amazing way the Dallas Mavericks like killed the Miami Heat. Well, like up to this day, man, I can never forget the time like LeBron James and D Wade were laughing at him because he said he was sick, and the next game he killed them. He killed them. And I was like, yeah, he nice. He nice.
That's what I come up with. Dirk is nice for sure. So we went to go see Bronny James and Sierra Canyon play against Luhi. That was a crazy game. And I remember we went super last minute. I called you up. I was like, Niko, I just got tickets to go see this high school game. And you're like, oh, what high school game? I said, oh, Sierra Canyon against Luhi. Bronny James is playing over there in New Jersey. We drove like 2 hours to go there, right? Crazy, super fun time, but with a bunch of our good friends. What was it like for you seeing that while you were here in New York?
Man, it was like such a unique experience. Because while I play in high school, I never see like so many people coming to see a high school game. Like just seeing LeBron James' son, D Wade's son in the same squad, bro. Like we were actually 10,000 people. Say what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna watch high school basketball. Like we were witnessing the future of the NBA, bro. Like we were seeing like the future guys that are gonna be dominating the league, hopefully playing. And that was like it was a cool experience, like fun trip, driving 2 hours from New York to New Jersey, getting the experience to like see high school basketball at its finest. It was a cool story and a cool experience to have, man.
So, Niko, tell us a little bit about your draft experience because it was definitely unique. Going to the NBA office to drop in your declaration for the draft. With the pandemic, it was obviously much harder under those circumstances to even apply for the draft, and you were still able to get it done. What did that look like for you?
It just makes my story even funnier and even crazier. I remember the day I was like, "Yo, John, I already sent the email to the NBA offices, but I'm not sure if they get it." So I asked a couple of agents, and they told me like you can just, if you're in New York, you can just go through the NBA office and just leave it there. And I'm like, are you sure? They say, yeah. You got nothing to lose. So I was like, yeah, let's go. So I called you and I was like, yo, John, let's go. So your dad driving us around Manhattan. We're trying to find a parking spot. So we come down, then we go to the NBA offices and they're like, yo, we closed. And I'm like, can we leave this year? And I'm like, nah, there's nobody to receive it. And the guy was like, are you gonna be in the NBA draft? I'm like, I don't know, man. I gotta give this later. Those after like us like being persistent, he takes it and hopefully everything worked as planned.
And it did. You ended up getting your name into the draft, being persistent and going to the NBA office physically and saying, please, look, we need you to take this. And the letter got to where it had to go, obviously. So we're definitely going to be telling our kids that story for years to come. So Niko, what's some advice now after you've seen the game from so many different angles and so many different countries and so many different ways? What's your best advice for someone trying to do what you did, whether it's come to the States and play basketball or play up in the men's division against grown men or chase their dream and declare for the NBA draft? What's your advice to those people?
Man, that's a great question, man. Like, be patient and like more open-minded, like listen to advices, like take advices. I believe when I was young, I may listen to you. You may tell me something, but I may listen to it, but I wouldn't pay so much attention. So, growing up, I realized that every advice, even if it's from someone that doesn't even know anything about basketball, can help you. So, patience, open-minded towards others, and respect and be more like humble. Like, when I mean humble, I mean like humble to like everyone. Like, when you're young and you're good in the sport of basketball, you get kind of carried away and like forget like the basic stuff of just being a kid. You always gotta stick being a kid, listen to others. Η συμβουλή που θα έδινα στο 13χρονο εαυτό μου είναι να έχει πάρα πολύ υπομονή. Καθώς χωρίς υπομονή δεν μπορείς να πετύχεις τίποτα. Διότι όταν ήμουν σε αυτή την ηλικία κυρίως, βιαζόμουν. Και θεωρώ ακόμα και σήμερα μέχρι και τα 23 μου βιάζομαι ακόμα. Αλλά είναι ένα μέρος της προσωπικότητάς μου, του χαρακτήρα μου αυτός. Αλλά θα έλεγα στον εαυτό μου να έχει περισσότερη υπομονή, να ακούει πιο πολύ και να μην βιάζεται, δηλαδή αυτό να μην βιάζεται. Γιατί καμιά φορά τα πράγματα περνάνε από δίπλα σου και και δεν τις χαίρεσαι τις στιγμές. Δηλαδή, τα λάθη που κάνουμε όταν είμαστε νέοι και μικροί είναι ότι τα θέλουμε όλα τόσο γρήγορα, τα θέλουμε τόσο σύντομα, χωρίς να δουλέψουμε για αυτά, χωρίς να μοχθήσουμε, υδρώσουμε, πονέσουμε, κλάψουμε. Ενώ γενικότερα η ζωή και ό,τι σου προσφέρει η ζωή θέλει υδρότα, θέλει κόπο, δεν είναι τίποτα έτοιμο, δεν σου έρχεται τίποτα χωρίς να δουλέψεις σκληρά. Οπότε θα έλεγα στον 13χρονο εαυτό μου να έχει τεράστια υπομονή. Τεράστια υπομονή και επιμονή. Δηλαδή να επιμένει στα σωστά πράγματα και να υπομένει άλλα πράγματα. Κυρίως αυτά. Γιατί θεωρώ ότι αυτά ήταν τα πράγματα τα οποία θα μπορούσα να ήμουν λίγο καλύτερος όταν μεγάλωνα και όταν άρχιζα συσσαγωγικά να ερωτεύομαι πιο πολύ το άθλημα αυτό του μπάσκετ.
Κατάλαβα, φίλε, κατάλαβα. I mean, great advice, both in English and in Greek for whoever's listening to really take that in and really apply it to their own life. So, Niko, man, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, we've been trying this for a while. I'm so happy we could finally do it. And I'm also so happy that people are going to get a chance to listen to it and hear about such an awesome person. So thank you.
No problem, bro. Anytime.
Thanks for listening to the Big Fellas Podcast. Check us out on all major social media platforms at Big Fellas Pod to join the chop up. You can also listen to us on every podcast platform on the planet. Stay tuned for the next episode, Big Fellas.